I am Xerinez Bloodletter, and this is the tale of our first journey to the lands across the sea. In the year 568, we set sail from our northern home, our longships cutting through the mists like blades through flesh. The British Isles beckoned, a land of promise and plunder, where old foes awaited and new battles called to us. We found a sheltered cove and made landfall under the cover of darkness. The soil of Britannia felt strange beneath our feet, but we knew it would soon be ours. We first encountered the Celtic Fomorians, creatures of myth and nightmare made flesh. Our axes sang as we clashed with these ancient enemies, their blood staining the green hills red. But they were not our only foes. The remnants of Rome still clung to these shores like barnacles to a sinking ship. We thought to find easy prey among these scattered legions, but even in their twilight, the eagles of Rome proved fierce. As we pushed inland, new challenges arose. The druids, keepers of old magic, turned their powers against us. We faced storms conjured from clear skies and forests that seemed to move of their own accord to bar our path. And the Saxons, who we had hoped might be allies, met us with swords drawn and hatred in their eyes. They saw us not as fellow conquerors, but as rivals for the land they had only recently claimed as their own. But it was the Picts who truly tested our mettle, their hit-and-run tactics wearing us down like waves against a cliff. They struck from the shadows, melting away before we could bring our full strength to bear. In a great battle near the edge of a vast forest, I stood atop a hill of corpses, surveying the chaos around me. The clash of steel, the screams of the dying, the thunder of hooves, all blended into a cacophony of war. And in that moment, as the cries of the dying filled my ears and the taste of blood filled my mouth, I understood. These lands were not yet ripe for the taking. We had come too soon, our ambition outpacing our strength. I watched as a group of my warriors, men I had known since boyhood, fell to a Pictish ambush. Their deaths were the final push I needed. This was not our time, not our place. We had to retreat. With a heavy heart, I gave the order to fall back. We would return to our ships, battered, but not broken. As we fought our way back to the coast, I saw the determination in the eyes of our enemies. They would not rest until we were gone. We reached our longships under the cover of night, the same darkness that had sheltered our arrival now aiding our escape. As we sailed away from those misty shores, I vowed that we would return. The taste of defeat was bitter in my mouth, but I knew that this was not the end of our story in these lands. In the years to come, others would follow. Ragnar and his sons would carve their names into the history of these lands. They would learn from our failures, find new strategies, and eventually establish the foothold we had sought. But that is a tale for another time. For now, remember the name Xerinez Bloodletter and the first Viking voyage to Britannia. Remember the blood we spilled and the warriors we lost. Remember the lessons we learned in defeat. For it is not in victory alone that legends are born, but in the perseverance that follows failure. We sailed home with empty hands but full hearts, knowing that our story in these lands had only just begun. And so I end my tale as I began it. I am Xerinez Bloodletter, and this was the first, but not the last, Viking journey to the British Isles.